Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our second episode of the Alumni Podcast series. I am Dhanush and I will be your host this evening. With me is Mr. Samarth, who studied computer science from our college and is currently working at SAP Labs from Bangalore. Welcome, Samarth. Is it SAP Labs or SAP Labs?
It is SAP Labs. So
Okay.
cool. I'm really glad that IEEE SJC student chapter found me worthy to be invited as a guest on this platform to share my experiences for the benefit of the audience. So thank you for having me in here.
Yeah, okay, sure. Um, so tell us more about your average day right now compared to how it was around, let's say, 7, 8 months ago. Like, how's your average day the moment you wake up? How different is it?
Uh, at least in my routine, I don't see pretty much any change because even in Bangalore, I used to stay very close to office, so there is no significant change in the commute time as such. You can tell that. And I just maintain my work hours just like before. So there is no much difference in my routine, to be honest.
Okay. So tell us more about your job at SAP Labs. How do you,
Uh,
like, what do you do there?
yeah, sure. So I've joined SAP Labs a few months ago in June, and I basically work on an open source project called Gardener. And Gardener is a Kubernetes as a service product, which offers homogeneous Kubernetes clusters potentially across any cloud in a way that is scalable and customizable. So we are trying to democratize multi-cloud and make the time of development to deployment very less, as well as the maintenance burden will be significantly reduced with Gardener. And of course, there is a significant cost reduction when we use our product. So this is what we are doing, and in particular, Gardener is an entire very big ecosystem as such, and I work on a component called Machine Controller Manager, which is mainly focused on the infrastructure part of the Kubernetes.
Okay. So what suggestions do you, as an experienced personnel, have in this field of Kubernetes? Any prior knowledge that a student needs to know? Because I myself studying in CS, I haven't learned this in college yet. So please do share.
Yeah, firstly, a very small correction that I'm not too experienced. So even for me, it's been just 2 years into corporate, and I would tell that I'm still learning a lot of things. I'm getting exposed to a lot of new things. And coming back to your question of what prior knowledge one should have to get started with Kubernetes. I would think knowledge or exposure to containers would be helpful, though it is not mandatory. But yes, some knowledge about the containers would be helpful to get started with Kubernetes, because ultimately Kubernetes goes ahead and does the container orchestration. So if we have a thorough understanding of containers as such, then it will be very easy for us to pick up Kubernetes and proceed.
Okay. So before you started, what were your initial challenges that you faced in your work life? How different is it to what you thought it was, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, I actually thought that the work would be really tough and difficult, and I would have to put in a lot of efforts to get used to these things. But when I started working, it was a lot more easier than what I had thought it to be. And we get a lot of mentors in our companies, right? So we will have onboarding buddies and people like the senior architects and even senior colleagues who will be very kind enough to motivate us, teach us, and help us wherever we are stuck. So picking things up wasn't much of a challenge for me when I joined HPE and even SAP. So I think it will be easy for everyone as such, because even they will be very much aware that we will be coming from college and we will not be exposed to such an environment. So they will be very helpful, if you ask me.
That's kind of like rephrasing what Narayan Murthy had told long back when he said majority of engineers are not they you can't hire them because they don't have any skills in the industry. So that just reminded me of that. So uh, if it's do you feel that it's like companies hire based on the skills that you possess or based on how elaborate your profile is? Because if it is skill based, then why do some companies have like a minimum 8.5 cutoff to even apply?
Right, that is also there, but I would think that it is solely dependent on the need of the hour there for the team. If the team is working on a very critical project, then I think I myself would prioritize the skill over the wide range of technologies a person has worked upon, because for me at that point of time, a person with the skill that is very much required for my project will be on top priority. So I think it just depends. So there is no hard and fast rule which companies also follow. So it just depends on the team that is being hired for.
Okay. So you work as a campus recruiter volunteer for HP.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So what are your a few do's and don'ts for freshers or
uh,
anyone who's watching this?
right. So it's the first thing whenever we attend an interview, right? So it is very normal to be nervous, but I would highly recommend that not to treat the interviews as a question answer session where an answer would cost you any marks. Okay, so it is just a conversation between the person who needs resources for one of the projects in his company, and you are over there telling what are your skills and how good you are and how best you fit in there. So it's not like you just feel that as a casual conversation with a friend where they are putting forward their needs and you are putting forward your experiences and skill set. So that's the first thing. And once this becomes your mindset, right, you will feel it easy to navigate through. You will not feel nervous when you are attending the interviews. And after this is done and you are comfortable talking to the interviewer, the second point would be like, be very loud and clear when you are discussing your answers and even solving the problems they are shooting. And yes, if you do not know, just tell it right away that you do not know and you need some help, right? So because definitely you would have done some preparations and all, and you would have missed a entire chapter, let's say, like for example, okay, I'm just taking like computer architecture, so that might not be your favorite subject, and you also
No, it
might have least
definitely wasn't.
expected. So you would have least expected that question from the interviewer or the company as such. So you can just tell that it is either not your strong subject, or you don't know. So that is the second aspect which I would tell. And next comes is like, please do not fake anything on your resume, because we will get to know it. So
Okay.
those are the three things. So that's the thing. So these would be
Okay.
a few
So you
recommendations
are
from my side.
okay. You're also a stock market investor. So,
Yes.
uh, being an engineer, how did you start investing in stock markets? How did you jump into this realm? Where did you get this inspiration? Because it's not exactly a technical realm, right?
Okay, so I would like to give this complete credits to two of my colleagues at HPE, who were my teammates, senior teammates in during my internship, Rakesh and Praveen. Those guys actively were into this field of investment trading, and I used to have a very nice discussion sessions with them, like to understand how the stock market works, what is even a share and what is a dividend, and what are these mutual funds. So I used to have a prolonged discussions with them every now and then, and I was thoroughly convinced that okay, this is how I make my money earn money for me. And then when my full time started in July 2018, that was the first thing which I did. I started investing small, and today it has grown to a decent amount of equities across different companies, you can tell. And recently, I even got a certificate from Zerodha, the broker or the platform where I trade on, telling that I'm a net profitable trader over last 60 trading sessions. So those two colleagues were of great help, and even they continue to mentor me even today whenever I will have any confusions with if I should be investing, if this is the right time to invest, or how much should I invest, or if I should sell my stocks today. So all these fundamental and technical analysis, if I have doubts, so I usually reach out to them. But the whole credit of me jumping into the stocks goes to them. So that's the best part of the
Okay.
companies, right? Like you have a wide range of people with a wide range of experience. In college, what happens is you get to meet seniors who are at most 3 years senior to you. But in companies, you get to meet people who are almost double your age, right? So we get to learn a
Yeah.
lot of things. The thing is, like, we have to be too open to conversation, and we have to be open for learning, and we do get to learn a lot of things.
Okay. So is this like another way of building multiple income streams? Like,
Totally. And also this builds a discipline of, utilizing the monetary resources that you're having. Because I was not even having a credit card before, and with my discussions with these guys, I even got to know why having a credit card is important, right? So it builds a discipline in you of how you utilize your money. So that's the thing. And
so
in stock markets, when every 10 paisa matters, you actually learn the value of every penny. So that's the kind of a thing.
yeah.
Because when we undergo a loss, that time we do understand, okay, 10 paisa also matters, even though the paisa is not there in the physical form, but still it has its value.
True, true. So you also told that failure is a stepping stone to success. So uh, give us more insights on that from your perspective, considering uh, an average person looking at your profile, I it's hard to see failure anywhere. So
That's the thing, right? Like most of us do not put our failures in any of our resumes or profiles because that is never considered as any important aspect of a person's life, but actually that is. So if you consider my failures, then I think I'd just like to give one example, and I would like to relate it how it changed my perspective in life. So I had appeared for GATE in my final year examination, and despite working hard for it, it did not bear me any fruits. So I was pretty disappointed. But today I think that it happened for good because my entire career goal has changed after having come to this corporate and learning different designations, different roles, and different kind of a work, that now I feel like I am more interested, and my purposes are better fulfilled by product management role and sales and execution. So if at all I had done GATE and got into technical, education, higher education over there, then it's not like it would have gone waste. But I think I just saved 2 years of my time where I just got redirected to what I would enjoy more. So I think when you have worked hard and still that did not bear any fruits to you, then it's just a conspiracy from the universe where it is trying to redirect you to what is best for you. Just because our conscious mind is not in sync with the subconscious which is conspiring with us, we just treat it as a fate. But I think if you have worked hard enough but you still think that it is failing, then it is that it is redirecting you to something else which is going to be much more beneficial to you and which you are going to enjoy a lot. So this is my perspective of failure, because as a person we will be aware that if we are working hard or not. So if you are working hard and still it is not bearing fruits, then it's just a conspiracy of the universe to get you back to the right path. So that's the thing. That's a perspective that has changed for me over time.
so you're like a slight believer of everything happens for a reason,
Yes, totally.
in a way.
Everything happens
Yeah.
for a reason. Just that we aren't matured enough to understand it right away. But once the right thing happens, we feel like, okay, what happened in the past, which we, grieved so much, was for good.
Okay. So how much
And
of
another
whatever
example
you?
also, I would like. I'm sorry to break you, but I would
No,
like to
no,
give
it's fine.
another
It's fine. It's
example.
fine.
Yeah, I would like to give another example. Like during my campus placements, right? So SAP Labs was the first company to visit, and I was like very keen on joining SAP Labs, to be very honest, but I could not pull off the aptitude round itself there. So first round I was kicked out, but there then on I joined HPE and I got around 2 years of experience over there. And then when I now moved to SAP Labs, I have chosen the project and the team of my interest, where I see that this particular thing is much more aligned with my career aspirations, which rather would not have happened if I had joined during my campus placements, because that time I was not even knowing like which team I would be joining. So I don't know if some random team which I would have joined would have helped me with my career aspirations. But now I'm very much aware that okay, SAP Labs is a company I wanted to join, which I have joined, and I have joined with a very conscious decision where I know like which team I have joined, which technology I'll be working on, and how this is closely aligned with my career aspirations. So that time, me being kicked out of the aptitude round because of my underperformance, of course, was a good thing, which I'm consciously realizing now. So you see, whatever happens, happens for good again.
True. I guess most of us will realize this sooner or later as we go on,
Definitely.
because yeah, we're still we're still students. So
Yeah.
yeah. So how much of whatever that you learned in college are you able to confidently uh, imbibe in your work? Is it how much importance should a student give in what he's learning in college, thinking whether it will actually be helpful for him later on?
Hmm. So you see, Dhanush, like everything that is there in the college is actually serving a bigger purpose than we are aware of. So we just spoke about that we both are not so fond of computer organization and architecture, right? So when I went into Hewlett Packard Enterprise, which is predominantly an infrastructure company, and we were building a private cloud solutions, I have implemented in real life in my project the concept of RAID, the redundant array of independent disks that we employ to, handle the disk failures, right? So I was very glad that even though I was not fond of COA, I did study and it helped me very much. So you see, every subject that we learn do serve a bigger purpose than we are aware of. So even for that matter, when it comes to compilers, the discrete math subject is of so helpful, and I did apply it when I was working on one of the projects. And the networking aspects that we studied, may it be routing protocols, may it be concepts of VLAN, subnets, etc. So all these things were very helpful when we were building the private cloud solutions, because I had to come up with the configuration and I had to code all these configurations for servers, storage, networking, to build a stack where the customer would take this plug and play by hosting the application of his requirements. So all the subjects have their purposes, and yes, it's just that either we should pick up the projects where we can employ them, or we should get projects where we can employ them. But yes, if we thoroughly study, they will definitely serve one or the other purpose for sure. And what I have understood over my 2.5 years of experience in technology deeply is that the fundamentals of all these different technologies remain the same. Only the upper layers will serve different purposes, but fundamentals will always be the same. So I think we should thoroughly study all the subjects that we are studying in our college, and we should not underrate them at any cost.
Interesting, very interesting. Okay, so you also have worked, not worked. I think you've served for 3 internships, right? So walk us
Yes.
through what you did in each one of those internships, considering that it's quite hard for a college student to get an internship in every even semester break. So, what did you do? Like, how did you get an internship and what did you learn?
Sure. So after my first year engineering, so it's most of the times, before getting into engineering, also after our 12th, we get into some computer institutions to learn our C programming or Python programming, anything as such, right? So I basically come from a biology background. So I had joined one of the institutes where I took my C programming course. And after my first year, I went there for data structures and Java and C++ courses, kind of a thing, where I was just asked like if I would be interested to take up courses for my juniors. So basically, as a teaching assistant. So I thought it would be a good experience for me, and being family member of the family, wherein most of them have served and serving in the teaching field, I was very keen. I took it up, where I taught my juniors C programming, and that was the first internship which I did in my first year, after my first year. And I remember getting my first salary of 5,000 rupee that time. And in the second year, of course, I continued participating several hackathons, learning good things, and I did have a good academic score, which fetched me an internship at IIT Ropar. And this internship was the first time when I got exposed to research work. So that was one of the kind of experiences, I would say. And research is really tough, because it's like you need to bring in a whole new problem which is not solved by anyone before, or it is that is partially solved, and you need to come up with ideas or solutions, or answers for those questions there. So again, it was a very good experience for me at IIT Ropar. It was kind of aggressive experience, you can tell. So that did grill me thoroughly there. It made me strong both technically as well as my personality grew with the kind of a people I worked with. So they were that brainy guys. And then followed by that, I had joined Compiler Tree and Prashant sir's uh, company, where I again got exposed to a lot of aspects. Followed by which I got an opportunity to attend the summer school at Indian Institute of Science and present my research work, which I had done previously at IIT Ropar. So all these things were a good experience for me. Uh, the best part was like I got recommendations from professors from my college, guidance of my seniors, that so and so opportunities will come up, and you need to be just keep an eye on those things so that it just doesn't miss out. So I used to prepare for them almost an year ago. So if I'm targeting for summer school, I did prepare for that from my very beginning of the fifth semester. So I used to have a long-term vision always, and those fetched me internships, you can tell, and I did prepare for them with whatever was needed. So I used to read the experiences of people who have already attended, what they have done, and try out similar things. So I did. I was very keen on participating in the GSOC, but yes, that couldn't happen. But I think that is okay.
But why? Why? Like, why did that not happen?
I think the preparation wasn't sufficient enough. GSOC basically focuses on open source project, as far as I know, and that time it was pretty hard for me to balance out things with the college and also prepare to a level where I would get shortlisted or selected for a thing which the GSOC guys were looking for. So I think that was kind of overwhelming for me. So I just settled. So I was like, okay, let me leave it aside for now. So I did have a senior
That's
called Sharath who did it, but I was in touch with him. He also guided me through, but it was for me it was a bit overwhelming to balance my internals and my other projects, and so I thought one goal should be enough. Otherwise, it will be like beating around the bushes. So
yeah. I was about to come to that. That's quite the elaborate college life you had there. So, what message would you have to students who haven't had internships till now? Like, is it like 100% necessary must that will help you later on, or is it like you said, rather to better to focus on what he's doing in college first, and then if he has spare time, dedicate it elsewhere?
definitely. See, I'm very optimistic, and I have a very positive notion about the kind of a academic structure that we are having. Of course, there are little bit of flaws here and there, but I think the project opportunities, the seminar opportunities, the lab opportunities, and of course the clubs that we have in our college give enough exposure for a student to prove their skills and worth in the interviews and crack them and get the job. But internship, I would definitely treat them as an add-on, which will give us you can call that as an exposure and also an experience just a few months before others would eventually get. So I don't think it is a kind of a 100% need to have an internship, but if you get it, if you strive for it, it is definitely going to give you a good experience, and it will just make you ready to take up the new jobs, right? So you will feel more confident when you take up new jobs. So it's just that part. So it's definitely not a 100% need.
So, how would you imagine yourself uh, attending online classes right now compared to how you used to study before, like comparatively to now, like we're all studying via online classes. So, what's your take on that?
I think online classes are a bit more challenging because if it was a classroom, then we would be much more disciplined, and at least there would be a fear that teacher will throw us out. But here at home, we'll be comfortable, and we just need to be, extra disciplined so that we'll be just regular enough and we learn things properly. And I think there will be
Mhm.
other challenges also of power, bandwidth of the Wi-Fi that we have. But I think we have to just make out best of what is available right now, because the situation is like that and everyone is struggling. It's not like professors are having an easy life now. So we have to also value them for their efforts, and we just need to complement their efforts also by cooperating with them and adding a meaning for the way it is being conducted now.
Okay, so um, could you share your experiences in blogging and writing Medium posts and you like creating YouTube content? Like, what should like any starter pro tips?
Yeah, so basically the idea is, you see, we have to share our knowledge to learn more, because we learn by listening and we understand by reflecting. So that is the primary idea that I have while creating the blogs or YouTube content, you can tell. So by doing that, I learn more, and it also helps me improve my communication skills. And you see, the basic idea is, like just I said, like it's to share my knowledge. And for anyone who is interested to start, just start it off. Do not prepare too much. Do not be afraid of the criticism that you would receive, because if someone is criticizing also, just be open for it with a positive attitude, because ultimately that criticism is going to help you improve. So you will also once you do this regularly, right, you will consciously observe an improvement in your writing skills, in the way you talk, and you will start enjoying it, and you will reach a stage where you will definitely not prepare to create a content or write a blog. So you just write your heart out and it will be a beautiful blog. So it's just like you just share your knowledge. Keep that intention very clear in your mind and be open to criticism and feedback. That is going to help you improve a lot in the work you do.
All right. So,
So always the key is to get
what would you?
started. Like,
Okay, so be open to criticism, but like, at what line do we draw that point? Because we also say that we should never pay attention to like criticism from others. Just do what you want to do. But so like, where do we draw the line with that?
so see, it's like, right, like see, criticism, I'm just not by criticism, I'm also telling that we also have movie critics, we also have cricket match critics. So they're not being sarcastic, or they're not trying to judge you. By criticism, I just told like a way of evaluation, where they tell you how it was and what went well and what did not go well. So if you know that the other person has got experience, he has done something in the domain in which he is criticizing you, then I think you should just value that person. And again, you will be able to judge if that person is providing you a feedback or criticism just because he is jealous about you, or if that person is very much interested in helping you out, in bringing the best out of you. So you will also be able to judge like which kind of a person he is, and based upon, you can just take a call if you should value his feedback or not. So that's a very important thing again. So there will be negativity every time you get started on a such journeys. But of course, wherever you feel that the person is genuine and sometimes they are blunt, and that is okay. And if the person is worthy, then I think we should just accept their feedback in a very positive way and work upon it. Rather, I would say that if he is also frequently providing you feedback and improvement suggestions, then you do consider him as a mentor. That will be helpful in the long run.
Okay, so before we jump into the questions from the audience, which industry or which industry do you think will boom in the next 5 to 10 years? Like, what are the skills
Well,
that are in demand?
so you see, with the same research itself, I have picked up this domain where I'm currently working upon the platforms. So basically, no matter what domain booms, they need a platform to run their applications. So that's the thing where I have focused on, and Kubernetes is the platform for the cloud now. And we also know the advantages of cloud and cloud native already. And if you talk about the particular domain that would boom, then I think it's healthcare. You see, uh,
Yeah,
healthcare has become
especially now.
yeah, so healthcare has become a real challenge, and by healthcare I mean both physical and mental health. So I think that is going to really boom because it has become a very competitive world these days. Everyone is in the race, and there is a lot of pressure, I can say. So health is something which we should be very much careful about, and which we should take care of rather nicely. So I think that domain is going to boom. And if you talk of the technology, I think it's the platform domain that will be on boom.
Okay, so our first question is, could you explain the basic analysis required before investing in a particular company, firm, or a stock?
Right. So I would say that the company that we are investing in should have a good leadership, because the company that has good leadership and executives, they will just maneuver through all the odds and make sure that their company is doing well always. So we have to look for the leadership first. That is the first thing which I look at, and then look at their balance sheet, how they have been performing over the last 10 years, and how they are giving out the dividends, and what are the different new products and deals they have brought into market. So you can just consider all these things, and what is their roadmap ahead. So how they are ready for the competitors of theirs, and how much innovative they are, how much are they investing on bringing out new technologies, different business models. So you can just consider all these aspects, and if their past is good, if the present leadership is good, and if the future roadmap is clear, then I think we can take stakes in those companies.
Okay, so like, what strategies do you use to evaluate like risks
That's right.
involved?
Yes. So you see, we all have seen the story of Nokia, right? So they did not adopt to the Android, and eventually they have to leave the market. So we
Yeah.
should be also very observing about these aspects, like how the companies are adapting to the new technologies, through the new challenges, and how much vision they are having. So do they have a vision for the next 50 years, next 20 years? If they have a vision for their business, then their employees are happy, basically, because they have got their jobs to do. And if the employees are happy, they are serving values to the customers, and then the company will survive and grow. And if we put our money helping them to drive this, then our money will also grow. So that is a good thing. So we should be very particular about the past uh, performance, the current leadership, and the future roadmap of a company.
Okay. So another question is, how do you manage your time with work and investing, as they're completely different fields? And also, investing consumers, uh, investing consumes a lot of time and research. So basically, their question is, how do you balance the two?
Okay, so I don't do active full day trading. So I do swing trading. By swing trading, we mean that we give it a couple of weeks or a month's time, and then we trade. So eventually, like now and then, whenever I get time, I do trade in intraday. It's like when the market opens, you trade, and by afternoon you sell it off. But most of the times, I go for swing trading, where I give it enough time for my stocks to grow, and then I make my changes in the portfolio. But talking about the time, I think weekends are good. Discussions with your colleagues are also good. And I think we should never complain about time, because it is the only unbiased distribution that everyone has been given with 24 hours of time. I think we'll just management, like once you get a hang of it, right, like you don't feel like even just by reading the headlines also, you will be able to conclude like if you should just go ahead and invest it. So I think you will just learn that skill with time. Time will teach you that.
True, true, true. So another question is, how easy is it to change your job role? Or I'm
Oh,
guessing how easy
this
is it to switch job roles?
So many times, if it is in the same domain, it is pretty easy. But if you are changing your domain, then it will be a bit difficult, because the companies would expect some prior work experience in that domain. So that time, what I would suggest is, if you are changing a company or the job to entirely new domain, I would recommend, you work on few projects by yourself, put it up on GitHub to showcase your credibility and also to get knowledge and experience, and then it will be pretty easy. So I don't think it should be much of a difficult, but yes, it would take time, but taking time is not difficulty, is what I feel.
Okay, so another question is, I think in one of your blogs or posts, you had mentioned that you had some weird wish of getting married to a person with a particular name or born on a particular date. Could you elaborate more about this?
Okay, I see that Naresh has asked that question. Okay. Yeah, so it's just like, you see, it was like I just wanted my wife to be born on 14 February so that I can marry also on the same date, wherein my wedding anniversary, her birthday, and Valentine's Day would be celebrated on the same day. And as you know that I'm already a stock market trader, it was just an economic plan, nothing else. Give
Oh,
one
right. So
gift and settle all the three events there. So
it's all about science there.
yeah, so definitely.
Hopefully that happens for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'll
So
give you one of the dividends I get if that happens.
okay, thank you very much. So another question would be, uh, have you worked under insecure superiors who do not recognize your work, so you don't eventually overtake them in the corporate ladder? If yes, how do you deal with such situations?
Hmm. I would like to quote a Sanskrit shloka here, which is very relevant to what is asked. Okay, so it goes something like this: Na abhisheko na samskaram simhasya kriyate vane vikramarjita satvasya swayameva mrugendrata, which basically means there is no special procession or coronation that is conducted in a forest for a lion to become a king. Out of its valor, bravery, courage, and strength, he goes ahead. A lion basically goes ahead and becomes the king. So even over here, it is very similar. No corporate atmosphere is devoid of politics and insecurity, as it is mentioned. But you see, when you work hard and when you'll be recognized by everyone, eventually you just grow. It might have some hurdles, but with time you'll also learn to deal with those hurdles. You have to be really diplomatic. So that time, the best part to do is like, you know you just become public about your skills. You write blogs, you create content, so that many people who actually have those opportunities in hand, they will reach out to you and they will give you better opportunities. And also, most of the times, the leadership will be good, even though the management will be of this sort at times. I think the leadership will definitely recognize for who you are and give you opportunities. So I think that's the way it is. So it should not be a big problem. You will find a way out. You just have to be very open, and you should expose yourself also, like what skills you have. So it's all about marketing yourself and personal branding as well, that helps to grow, right? Because
True,
I
true.
will not know what skills you have expertise upon if you don't tell me, and if you don't put your work on a public platform where I can find those things, right? So once I know that you are good in image processing and I have a need of image processing, and I see all your posts and content and your project work on GitHub kind of a thing, then yeah, it is definitely a good sign for me, and it is easy for me to reach out because I have already seen your credibility in the domain.
True, true, true. So one more question is, Why did you leave HP for SAP?
Very good question. And I would like to give a very honest answer here. As I've already told you before in the same podcast here, I was very keen on joining SAP when I was in college. So that is the first thing. So now when this opportunity came, I just did not want to miss this out because even though I had established myself in HPE and I had a very good recognition at HPE, wherein I would involve in a lot of activities, may it be development, co-curriculum, recruitment, etc. So I thought I should not trade my passion for glory. And my passion was in SAP and my glory was in HPE. So I did not want to trade my passion for glory. And the SAP offer current, whatever I got, did accelerate my career growth. So I think these two were the major reasons I had to take a very tough call because I did this switch during the pandemic lockdown, where I was actually afraid that things might just get messed around, but everything was pretty peaceful. I took that risk, and guts got the glory again.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of us have to take risks at some point of time in life. We can't just
Definitely,
live under
definitely.
certainty all the time. So yeah,
I think your ambitions will get a meaning only if you take risks, not otherwise.
true, true. So what attracted you towards SAP? Like why SAP? Like what did you like about their company?
Oh, well, the work culture that I was always aware about. So you see, it's very important to work in a place whose work culture is very good. Of course, HP's work culture was also very, very nice. But again, SAP's thing was my, since college, I was very fond of SAP Labs. So when I just got this opportunity, so I just pick it up. And alongside
Okay,
that, of course, it was very much aligned with my career aspirations also.
okay.
Because when I joined HPE, the problem that I explained you right in the before, so I was not aware of what team I would go and what work I would do. So I joined a team. Of course, I learned a lot of things. I again internally moved in HPE also in the domain of my interest, and then eventually when I got SAP offer, then I thought I should pick it up and I moved.
True, true.
But I
Okay.
still have a very special place for HPE in my heart.
Obviously, it's the first company you got
Yes,
selected
definitely.
in. So first is always unreplaceable.
And
Okay,
HP's
so
role in me getting SAP offer is also significant, right? So I have learned a lot of things because of which SAP found me worthy for their company. And all those learnings came from HPE.
true. So another question is it really important to do masters? And I think I kind of understand this as well. Again, quoting Narayan Murthy for saying that majority of India's engineers are unemployable. So is it really important to pursue masters later on, or what is your
Yeah,
take?
so my take is like
Because
this.
you
So
did try to take, you did try to write GATE and pursue masters initially.
that's right. So you see, pursuing this master's thing is totally a perspective-based thing, and all the perspectives are correct. So it's just important to do what is best fitted for us. And as I told you, I wanted to take up GATE, but it was good that it didn't happen because now I'm very keen on pursuing product management roles, which is why I will be taking up MBA in the coming years. So you see, sometimes you do the masters right away after your engineering, and sometimes you just explore the different possibilities for a couple of years, then decide whether a technical master degree is important for you or a business and marketing kind of a master's degree are important for you. So you can take a call after giving it some time where you do your research and homework. But I would rather think it this way: masters would be a plus because, as we discussed about switching jobs from one domain to another, if we do not have a prior experience in a particular domain, let's say I do not have experience in product management and marketing right now. So if I want to take up those roles, a company would be kind of skeptical to give me that because I don't have prior work experience. And if I do a MBA now and then apply for those roles, then I think those companies would be more than happy to give me because at least I have a credential and a credibility of my master's with good grades to show them that yes, I am ready for this to take it up.
So
So
did you ever
right
think
now
about? No,
Yeah,
sorry,
please go
continue.
ahead. And so
No,
right
no,
now
no,
I'm
you
just
finish.
planning to take it up the executive MBA, which SAP is more than willing to sponsor me. So it will be a kind of a work as well as college for me very soon.
Oh, so will that be in India or abroad? Like, where will this
Uh,
executive MBA be?
so I can pick any college. So I'm just doing my research around it. So I think I have around 6 months more time to do that and decide upon. So I'll just see which is offering the best course and which will have more value. So based on that, I'll just take a call. But anyway, it
Okay,
is going
so
to be
based on
online, right? So
probably until we no, but if you're looking at colleges outside, they have technically started, haven't they? Like the classes, offline classes. Only here, I think it's still online.
yeah, but I would prefer this kind of offline courses, or sorry, online courses, so that I'll be able to balance my work as well because I don't want to go back to full-time college.
Okay, okay. So based on your research so far, how should one choose a college for masters? Like,
Okay, so
how do you choose which college is right for you?
see,
Because
academics as
every
such.
college offers something.
Correct. So it's just about the additional programs which they offer and the kind of the collaboration they are having with the industry. So I think if a college is having a very good collaboration with industry, then I think that is the best place to study at, right? So because now also in SJC, such things have started where there are MOUs being signed with IBM, HPE kind of a companies, which is a good thing. So if a college is having much more collaboration with industry, then I think that is a college I would prefer to learn at.
Okay, okay.
Because
So
by the time we graduate, we would know what is the industry standards and what is the expectation from us from the industries, right? So I think that is the best thing to take it up as a variable or as a deciding factor for the college that we choose for our masters.
right, right. So out of the box, what's the biggest challenge that you have faced regarding your specific role right now, and how are you planning to overcome it?
Uh, okay, so the programming language that I'm working on is Golang, and that is pretty new for me because predominantly I have worked on Python before. So Golang initially was a challenge for me because it's kind of it's very particular about everything, and of course for good reasons. But Golang as a language is particular about many things. So, but I think I just started coding more and more and doing a couple of personal projects also to explore more concepts of Golang. And I also had discussions with my senior colleagues at SAP in my team over here. And all these helped me to pick things up fast. So the programming language was kind of a hurdle for me because I came from Python, and Python is like comfort zone.
Okay, yeah, it is pretty easy to learn.
Yeah.
So, so another question which I forgot, I think I missed, was how do we get into core technical companies and how do we prepare for that? Could you give some tips?
Yeah, sure. So you see, as a fresher, from a fresher perspective, right, the companies do not expect any fresh graduates to know everything. So we only expect the fundamentals to be strong. So once your fundamentals are good and just do a few projects to just get an experience, because when you do a project, you learn how to write optimized code, how to modularize your code, how to use the version control for your code, and also you learn, the teamwork skills kind of a thing. So and also you learn about documentation skills, presentation skills. So it just molds you in an overall way. So I highly recommend you guys to pick more and more projects, work upon them, and if once this is done, you will just implicitly prepare yourself for the co-companies, and the co-companies will be more than happy to hire you guys with these things because they don't want you to know full-fledged of how the industry works. They just want you to have the fundamentals right, and they will take care of all the other training and exposure they need you to have so that you will become a best fit for the companies. This might not be the case with the experienced candidates because experienced candidates should come with the experience and knowledge. But for fresh graduates, I think you should come with ambition and discipline.
Right. So the company basically would want to mold you with the version that works best for them.
Totally. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you also have a passion to be an entrepreneur. So what kind of company do you think you want to start?
I think it will definitely be a cloud-based company where I'll either provide platform as a service in combination with some application as a service. So, and that is exactly the reason because that is my long-term goal. I'm slowly starting to, pursue the product management roles because product management will deal with technical aspects, marketing aspects, and also the user experience aspects. So I think all conjunction of all these things will help me getting my fundamentals right for being an entrepreneur. I can start it right away as well, but you see, because I have this a bigger goal, I want to give it a sure shot, so I'm taking it up slowly. And accordingly, aligned with this thing, I'm taking very keen interest on the all employee meeting that our companies will conduct now and then, quarterly, mid-year, annually, and also trying to understand the balance sheet and the results of the companies. And the getting into stocks also was one of the reasons for this. So if you want to run a company, you should be good at money matters also. So all these things are little steps towards my long-term career. So I've given it enough time and I'm going to work hard for it. So I'm ready for all the odds as well.
Okay, cool, cool. You seem to definitely like jumping into new experiences.
Yes.
Okay. So, out of all the admirable skills that you seem to have in your arsenal, which one do you
Mhm.
like the most? Like, what's the one thing you love about yourself?
Can just repeat the question?
What's the one thing that you like about yourself, or
Myself?
which
Okay.
makes you completely unique? Yeah.
Uh, when I take up mentorship, I'm very patient. I like my patience actually. So I give the person I'm mentoring enough time to understand. I don't mind repeating things. I make sure that his goals become my goals, and I will take the complete responsibility to get that person ready. So I think I love my patience when it comes to mentorship.
Okay. So, you also mentioned uh, that you never attended a JCN. Could you elaborate as to why? Because we haven't had a college fest in the past 2 years.
Okay, so you didn't have, and I didn't choose to, and I hope my classmates and will not dislike this video on YouTube because of this. But
No,
yeah,
no.
talking about that, talking about that. So basically, I don't know if that is my personality or phobia kind of a thing, but I don't like to be in a unorganized crowd. You can tell. So it's not like I hate celebrations, but when it is a bit unorganized, I usually stay out of it, and which is why I never went to JCNA because we know it's just wild and crazy out there. So I used to refrain from that, and those 3 days would be my best days in my hostel stay. You can tell because hostel would be literally peaceful with everyone in the campus, and there would be no loud musics, no screaming of students. So I would always take up the important work of mine in those 3 days, finish them all, and even sleep nicely. So I would enjoy my stay in hostel during JCNA. And sometimes I just used to come back to my home. In one of the years, I think I had come back to my home. So, but yeah,
So you
that's a story.
prefer to
So
be silent and
yeah, so I basically prefer to be in the audience of a tennis match than in the audience of a cricket match.
okay. So your hobbies are quiet sports. So like what kind of sports do you? You also mentioned that you like driving a lot. So do you follow F1?
No, no, no. I don't follow F1, but I do like driving my car. So I go on long drives here and there now and then. And this year I had a plan to visit Dhanushkodi, but unfortunately I could not do it. But I think I'll just visit Dhanushkodi next year. So the southernmost tip of India. So basically,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had set a target to buy my car after within 1 year of my first year, within the first year of my professional career. So I did plan everything accordingly, and towards the end of my first year, I bought my first car, and I just want to take it to good places, and again have a story around my car also to tell, and also to create memories with it.
So did you have a car when you were in college as well?
No, 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 no. This is the first car of my family as well and mine as well.
Oh, okay. So like, what would be your popular go-to retreats from college?
I just used
Like,
to go with
if
my
you
friends.
probably suddenly like a class was cancelled or something, so where would you go?
We used to sit in Mailari, eat something, or sometimes go to Nescafe and have a coffee. And if it was summer, right, then we preferred going to Kanan Bakery for that mango milkshake thingy. So I think I still miss it.
Oh, okay. Cool. So, any particular thing that you would like to redo in college if you were given the chance?
Yeah, the one project per month resolution that I had taken up, I had thoroughly enjoyed it in 2017. I think that is something I would like to redo because that gave me a very good experience and also built a lot of discipline in me. Never before had my resolutions got accomplished successfully, but when I did that in 2017, like I had literally done 12 projects at the end of the year. I learned a thing. I did that because I wanted to get industry ready. So my resolution was accomplished by me. So that day I learned a thing that if we attach a purpose for the actions and for the work we are doing, then we will definitely accomplish whatever we are doing. So attaching a purpose for the work we do is very important in life, whatever we do it for that matter.
True, true.
So
Okay,
even now
so
when I'm working in SAP and I'm building my product, I have attached a purpose, and the purpose is basically the purpose of the project as a whole. Like every project provides a value for the customer, and that is my purpose as well when I'm coding now. So attaching a purpose, as I said, is very important for any work we do.
oh, cool, cool. So, what were the most memorable moments in college? Because from your perspective, I think it'll be quite different compared to the normal memorable moments. Because you say that you didn't want to attend the fests. So, what moments in college stood out the most for you?
Yeah. So you see, when I came to college right in the first year, I got a different perspective about peers, my peers and classmates. So until 12th standard, I was aggressively competitive with my peers, I would say, to be very honest. But I met some amazing folks over there, and I started celebrating their successes also. And I think all those moments continue to still inspire me to lead a better life. I would like to name a few of my classmates who still continue to inspire me. Firstly, Ronaldo Laishram. So that guy is amazing in astrophysics, and I still remember him solving the Kepler's laws problems sitting in my data science classes. And now he is in Japan pursuing his higher studies. And he's one among the only five students in the entire world who have been given a particular scholarship from that university over there. So, all these people's achievements, whenever they came, all those things inspired me to do the things that I would like with the same passion they were doing the things they were passionate about. Another guy was Shiv Kumar. He used to write thesis on various mathematics things, and he got a very good scope and encouragement from the math professors and the math department. So that was another thing. And another guy was Saif Ali, and that guy, despite breaking his hands twice, I think he was continuing to be passionate about bike riding, and I recently saw he got certified in one of the levels of bike racing. So I think all these kind of things, right, I still now cherish because they inspire me to do more and to be passionate about what I think I should do in life. Because whenever we read headlines of Bill Gates or Zuckerberg or anyone such, only for a couple of days we feel motivated and inspired. But if you start getting your inspiration from your classmates whom you see and meet daily, I think it will be a consistent inspiration which will give you energy to do more in your life. So those are the moments I still cherish, their achievements and me celebrating them.
Wow, that's pretty insightful. So before we wrap up this pretty insightful podcast, to say the least, I would like to have a rapid fire question.
Okay,
So you do not have much time to think for the answers, just whatever comes to your head.
sure,
So shall we start?
sure, done.
Yeah. Okay. So which club was, according to you, was the best in our college? You can be completely impartial.
LCC,
Okay. Career life or student life?
career life,
Okay. Bunking class or bunking lab?
bunking classes. Lab has AC, right? So
Oh, true. Okay. So your favorite street food?
favorite street food. Uh,
Yeah.
I think if Kanan Bakery is considered street food, then the same milkshake, mango milkshake there.
Oh yeah. Pretty good. um, your favorite genre of movies?
Uh, Not specific, but I think science fictions are something that I like.
Okay. So during internals, would you rather study in the garden or study in the reference section or in the quadrangle?
No way, like just come prepared right before the exam and sit in the exam hall. So study in hostel, back in hostel. So
Okay. Okay, cool. So that ends our rapid fire round.
cool.
So thank you, Samarth, for this experience. I'm pretty sure we all learned a lot from your experience and whatever you faced that you shared with us. So
And thank you so much for
please
having
do,
me here. It also
yeah,
refreshed
yeah.
a lot of memories from college for me also.
So thank you for your inputs. And to those watching, please fill in the feedback form. We will look into it. So have a nice day. Good evening.
Sure.
Good night,
And
rather.
I just had a last few words for all the audience and for the team who hosted. Very neat work. And for the audience, please feel free to reach me out on any platforms that you're comfortable with, may it be emails or get connected to me on LinkedIn. So I would be more than happy to have any kind of discussion or even a casual conversation with you guys. So uh, just do reach out for anything that you think I might be of any help for you guys. Right. So I wish you all the very best, and thanks for having me here today.
You too. All the best to you too.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.